Hi, everyone. I'm Mitch Juricich, and welcome to a very special edition, a draft edition of Hooked on the Niners.
And I'm Mark Naismith, and Mitch passed out all this information to us before the show and asked us to review it, and I'm very unoptimistic that we're going to, but we'll try our best.
Mitch passed out? Oh, this information. Yeah, we're going to go I'm Jerry Walker, and we'll talk later.
Oh, his part ought to be good.
And I'm Terrell Jones. I'm like Jerry Orbach. I'm here to keep law and order.
Oh, nice, nice. We have all that and all of this coming up on our draft special right here on Hooked on the Niners.
Hooked on the Niners is brought to you by
Bay 101 Casino, located at 1801 Bering Drive in San Jose. They can be reached at 408-451-8888 or on the web at bay101.com. Since 1994, Bay 101 Casino.
Badges Cafe. Badges Cafe is located in the heart of Mountain View at 2423 Old Middlefield Way. You can reach Badges Cafe at 650-967-7477 or on the web at www.badges.com. Go Niners! College Plaza Shell. College Plaza Shell, located at 1400 West Hillsdale Boulevard in San Mateo, providing automotive service since 1987. You can reach College Plaza Shell at 650-573-7959. That's 650-573-7959.
Psst. Hey, need some video work done? We can do that. We do all that video stuff. We can even put your video on that internet thingy. At Peninsula TV, we do full-blown in-studio production, talk shows, performances, speeches, anything. Remote multi-camera production, on location, at your event. And for the budget-minded, single camcorder production in high definition. We'll take your video project from first idea to finished product. For more info, contact Peninsula TV.
Welcome back to Hooked on the Niners. And guys, first of all, good to see you. Last time we saw each other was for the Super Bowl special. And I told you, that Baltimore didn't have a big, tough wide receiver to rely on.
He's a dancer.
Yeah, exactly.
No, not that one. The one that we have now. The one we have now.
Not the one
We'll
that's
get to
doing
that.
the Mamba.
Yeah. Now, we're going to try to break this up into segments. I don't know if they're going to make any sense or not, but before we go any farther, we do have a mystery word. If one of the guys says the mystery word during the course of the show, see, here we go. During the course of the show, they will win this envelope filled with money, and it goes for the crew, too.
Cute.
All right, before we go to the draft and who the the Niners need and so on and so forth, let's start with recapping the 2012 season. And what a great season it was. Didn't end the way we wanted it to. Right. Still a great season. It started, to me, guys, a huge win in Green Bay.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, you know how hard it is to win in Green Bay? You know, it's like my own personal record in Green Bay is like 0-7.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah. But I remember, if you guys do, the game turned out to be closer than it was, and I know that I'm taxing memories of older guys here. Right. But
Wait a second.
Well, while you're on the subject, my record in Green Bay is better than 0-7. So.
Okay.
All right, exactly.
Okay. But I don't ever think the game was in doubt, in my opinion. Or in other words, at no point did I think...
Even when David Akers kind of dropped that one that tipped over the goalpost, huh?
It went over, right?
I think so.
Yeah, it went over.
Point.
I was confident, and from that point on, Jerry, I thought they'd go 16-0.
Well, you actually said 16-0 prior to that game, and I said, not so fast, buddy.
Yeah.
That's a tough place to play. A friend of mine was like 0-7 there, I told you, I think.
Yeah.
But that was what a great game, what a great start. And the momentum stayed with the team. The season was like this, 2 wins, lost, 2 wins, lost.
Yeah.
But the momentum was still there. and it was definitely the way to start a season.
And I thought one of the big things for the season up to a certain point was the continued success of Alex Smith.
Oh, yeah.
What a transformation he went through under the quarterback whisperer that is Jim Harbaugh. I mean, I thought it was pretty amazing. He was reliable. He wasn't throwing it downfield, but he was sharp, not throwing interceptions.
Right. And that's where, you know, you have a coach who understands how to use a quarterback and how to use their particular skills, and not, you know, and putting his ego aside and doing what's best for the team and for, you know, and for the offense. So, I mean, that's why he was so successful. If he would have had Harbaugh, you know, back in the day, even before North Turner, you know, he would be, you know, he'd be probably in that top 10 quarterback conversation, I think.
Wasn't he at one point the top-rated quarterback in the league?
He was.
Like from
Yeah.
week 5 or 6 or something like that?
He finished up there, but his
third.
his minimum attempts weren't quite
Right.
up there. But, you know, Cap did a great job down the stretch.
Yeah.
Right.
But what a
He got us there.
Yeah.
A tale of two seasons, this very
Oh.
kind of conservative, measured approach to offense, and then
bump.
the wild man comes in, you know, running around
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
and throwing it down the field. And what an interesting season for the head coach and a former quarterback to coach in two such different sort of circumstances.
And just to stick with the offense before we get to the defense here, it's a running team with a big offensive line, but I think there was a transition slightly away from that in the second half of the season too.
Well, because you have a guy like Kaepernick who can run the ball, and, you know, teams are you know, coming up. Well, now you have, you know, Vernon and the wide receivers and Delaney Walker, everybody else open, and you use those options, which is, I mean, I think it was genius. I really do.
Yeah. Stifling defense in the first half of the season. I mean, stifling.
Being healthy helps.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Being healthy helps a lot. But yes, that defense. Well, you know, the oldest saying ever, right? Offense is exciting. Defense wins games.
Yeah. Right.
But you know, when you look at the numbers, you know, the first 13 games, which is a lot of games, they average up 2 touchdowns a game. And then maybe the depth situation and certainly the injuries that we'll talk about later to the Smith guys.
Yeah.
They gave up 30 points a game in their last 6 games. So it was a kind of a tale of 2 seasons defensively, in my opinion. You know, from people were talking about, you know, conversations of best defense ever to some issues at the end of the year.
Yeah, there definitely were some issues at the end of the year. But let's get back to the offense just for a second. I was thinking about the change at quarterback in midseason. I'm just racking my brain. I mean, the Staubach, Craig Morton thing. I know Tom Brady came in for Bledsoe.
That was an injury.
But this one here, kind of, you know, it was under the guise of the injury at first, but it just seemed to me like this is the opportunity to get it done. Did it seem like that to you guys?
Definitely, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Now, you know, the biggest change in quarterbacks over the years when I was with the team was the season that Joe started, got injured, was leading the league in passing. Yeah. Was replaced by Steve Young, who was leading the league in passing, got injured, and Steve Bono finished up towards the end of the season, ended up leading the league in passing. Right. But yeah, the way it went down this year was under the guise of injury. Yes.
Yeah, you touched on it. The Justin Smith injury just seemed to be the hatchet right in the forehead. Absolutely. I can't remember what game it was specifically. Was it the New England game where he got hurt? No, he came back for whatever game he came out injured, and they sent in Ricky Jean-Francois. Right. The very next play went right through that hole for about 12 yards. Maybe that was the Seattle game.
I think it was.
Up there. And can one guy make that much difference, Jerry?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to turn it over to this guy. This guy would know. One guy can make that much difference, especially at his position, because he's changing the flow of everything right there. Yeah. It's like when we had Fred Dean and Big Hands. Yeah. Big Hands used to always tell me, Fred gets all the sacks, but you should be getting the credit. It's like,
this guy.
Away from me.
Right. This guy that's doing all the work in the trenches.
You know what? And you're right. It was just like in '97 when Dana was Defensive Player of the Year. It should have been BY. Because he was basically doing the same thing that Justin Smith was. Yeah. And it's not just the physical part, but it's the mental part. Justin Smith is a wily, smart veteran who knows exactly what to do to free up so that all didn't get in there and get those wins.
I don't think he had a sack after Justin went down.
But I don't think we found out he was hurt until
which was another issue. But the other thing I would suspect, and the last time I checked, I've never been in an NFL huddle, but I suspect with him on the field, just his passion, the way he leads, the way he can inspire a defense, just being on the field. Right. it was very instrumental, let alone the way he placed the game. Right. So it was a big loss, and I think it just played all the way out through the Super Bowl. He was never 100% and had to go into the knife right away.
However, you've never been in an NFL huddle?
No, I've been in two. You've been in one, right?
I've been in a couple, especially when practice.
Yeah, practice.
What's you doing in there?
But then they go through the playoffs. Green Bay, I mean, Kaepernick is just off the charts good. Atlanta, get behind and then have to hold on near the end. And then, of course, the Super Bowl. I mean,
are you not yet?
First and goal from the 7, 2 minutes and 15 seconds left, 2 timeouts. My thought is you better run this ball in and take some time off the clock, because if we score with like 1:30 left, I had no doubt Baltimore wasn't going to come, that they were going to come back, and our defense was just gone. Quickly, we're going to go to break here pretty quick, but overview of the season. You were with the Niners many years when it was Super Bowl or bust, and if you didn't win it, bad year. Can you say that about this?
Yes. It's become that around the 49er headquarters.
Yeah,
that'd be 49er headquarters.
Yeah, good.
Yes,
good.
Super Bowl or bust.
Okay.
And I think that's the attitude they should have. It was just tough. They didn't play their most elite game in the Super Bowl. Way too many mistakes, starting with the first play of the game when they come out and get a formation penalty, and just a lot of mistakes, and too bad. I think, as Schwarzenegger said, though, they'll be back.
Yeah.
And I agree. I mean, if you start going in there thinking, okay, yeah, we went to the Super Bowl, and that's okay, then you're going to start playing mediocre, and you don't want that.
So. Buffalo ball.
Hey, as a guy sitting on the couch at home with a sarsaparilla and some food in front of me, I had a lot of fun. I mean, a Super Bowl or bust, yeah, absolutely, but that was one hell of a fun season. There's no question about that. Okay, some more segments coming up. Segment 2, we're going to talk a little bit about the free agency period coming up right here on Hooked on the Niners.
Brought to you in part by Parati & Karad, CPAs, providing income tax and accounting services to individuals and the business community since 1986. Located at 1100 Larkspur Landing Circle in Larkspur. They can be reached at 415-461-8500 or on the web at www.pccpas.com. Let's go Niners. Woodmont Real Estate Services, a friend to the community since 1963. Woodmont Real Estate Services is located at 1050 Ralston Avenue in Belmont, California, and can be reached at 650-592-3960 or at www.wres.com. Vivace Ristorante. Vivace Ristorante is located in the heart of Belmont at 1910 Ralston Avenue. They can be reached at 650-637-0611. That's 650-637-0611 or on the web at www.vivacerestaurant.com. Gando Design. For 25 years, Gando Design is located in Redwood City. Their website is gandodesign.com/specials. Gando Design, a proud sponsor of Hooked on the Niners.
Hi, I'm Katie Roletto, and I'm a local professional media producer. Thanks to Penn TV's volunteer program, I was able to expand upon my experience and gain some amazing training in the areas of television production right here in the Bay Area. The staff at Penn TV is very skilled and experienced in all aspects of technical production and really helped me learn and grow. If you're interested in finding out more about Penn TV's volunteer program, please visit them at www.penntv.tv and click on the volunteer tab. Thanks, Penn TV.
Welcome back to Hooked on the Niners. You know, the NFL has, the guys follow along with this scenario. It is the perfect scenario. You got the games from September through January. You got the Super Bowl in February. Then you have the Combine in late February. March and part of April is free agency. Then the draft. The camps, as we sit here now, they're in their camps with workouts and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And then next thing you know, they're in training camp. This is just an amazing business model. So we're going to talk a little bit about the free agency. I don't know why I went off on that rant.
Neither do we.
Yeah. And to this date, nobody
proud, though.
Exactly.
Nobody has guessed the secret word. So
exactly.
Let's talk a little bit, Mark. The losses in free agency. If we can run that slide, Rick, that'd be great. Jerry, and I'll just go right to you. you're not too happy about some of these losses.
Well, you never want to see a player leave. I mean, especially a starter, and one that means a lot to the team.
Right.
But I mean, it happens. It's life. That's what's sad about your last game of the year, whether it's in the Super Bowl or in the playoffs or regular season.
Yeah.
You know that team. That's the last time you're going to see that team together.
Yeah.
As one unit.
What name up there bothers you?
Well, you go right down the line, especially my cousin Delaney.
Delaney?
I mean, there's some talent up there that we're going to miss.
Goldson really hurts. I understand that one. That one's business. I mean, we can't pay him
that much
what
money.
he wants here. But he's an awfully good player.
No, I like a lot of those players. I'm not sure there's a devastating loss on that list, in my opinion. I mean, Deshaun, big hitter, but maybe not an elite pass coverage free safety, especially looking for the kind of deal he got.
But would you agree that excuse me for interrupting, would you agree that part of his pass covering prowess is the fact that he hits so hard and it maybe keeps people out of that area? And it limits the amount of the field that the receiver. Am I going overboard?
No, you're exactly right.
I think Dante's like that too.
Yeah, I do too.
But then you look at it too. You got the two corners who are not good. You know, they're okay corners, not great. Yeah. But when you've got Deshaun and Whitaker back there, it brings some fear into people's eyes. So.
Okay, well, let's move on. You were going to make a point. I'm sorry, I interrupted.
I tried to make it. I mean, I think the list. You always hate to see guys that have been around a long time and made big contributions like Sopuaga and certainly Delaney Walker go. But again, I don't think this is a list that there weren't adequate replacements for, especially holding 13 draft picks and getting into free agency. So just my 2 cents.
Right. No.
Okay.
No. I think Delaney Walker is probably the biggest one gone because, and if I'm not mistaken, he played like about 52% of all the offensive snaps, and you can put him in different formations, and that made him that dangerous. You know, so I think you lose a guy like that. That's going to be tough.
And the thing I think about Delaney is he's improving.
Exactly.
He's got nothing but upside.
His blocking. Yep. Oh man, he keeps getting better and better and better.
He did have issues with his hands though.
Yeah, he drops.
Well, so did Jerry Rice's rookie year.
Well, yeah.
How often was I don't mean to jump on you. But how often was Delaney thrown to in college? I mean, that takes some.
Absolutely, but the good point here is Jim Harbaugh loves the double tight end. He loves double tight ends.
Right.
So and as we'll get to this a little later, as we are doing this right now, they only have 2.
Right.
Well, you know the thing about this list is in the NFL. Anybody and everybody is replaceable.
Right.
Yeah.
And so plus, sorry, Jerry, but plus with this list, it's basically relatively a short list.
Yeah.
You know, when you go through and you look at some other teams.
Well, let's go to the, if we can change slides here, Rick, we'll go to the additions slide.
Which is pretty sweet.
It is pretty sweet. There's no question about that. We now have a big, tough, rugged wide receiver that you probably never noticed before.
Hey, every year in fantasy football, if I get my hands on Anquan Bolden, I'm a happy man.
Wow.
Yeah.
A couple of guys there that are kind of flying under the radar. I think Marlon Moore, who I think is pretty good out of Miami.
Yeah.
And Dan, I can't even, is it Scuda or Scudda? I'm thinking it's Scuda. From Cincinnati.
Who would know if you were wrong?
Right, exactly.
Besides Dan's parents.
It's Dan, or it could be Scuta.
We've done pretty well with Bengal pickups.
Yes, we have. And I'll tell you what, that might be a free agency pick that was aimed right at special teams.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt.
Back up inside linebacker, and that's aimed to. And the guy Costanzo, we never really could replace him last year because didn't we go from like 3rd or something in special teams down to like 20th I mean, it was a big number there. Glenn Dorsey's the one that really intrigues me. I don't know what happened in Kansas City.
Well, this guy was a 5th pick in the draft when he came out. So he's underperformed, and KC has not been the greatest team in the world. So I think he's a pivotal player. I mean, ostensibly one can argue that that's a big addition to their D-line. If somebody can get his attention and the Niners.
Where'd he go to school?
LSU.
He was kidding around.
Bengals.
He was kidding
He
around.
knew that. He knew that. So we lose one LSU player, we gain one LSU player.
Folks should know that for many, many years, I think for 67 years, Jerry was the SID at LSU he was there when the streets weren't paved.
Hey, Phil Dawson, that's a special teams addition too, by the way.
Another pickup from a team you like, Cleveland. It's Midwest boy over here.
But you got 2 guys on there. I believe. Well, actually, you have 3 guys on there. I believe they're going to come in with chips on their shoulders. Dorsey, Craig Dahl, who I really like. And Osawa. He's got a lot to prove.
Absolutely.
Going
from the most elite cornerback in the NFL to can I get a job?
Right. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
he's coming back to
seriously.
the Bay Area as well. So, yeah. But
and apparently they played him in the wrong type of defense back in Philadelphia.
I think played a few people in the wrong types of
Well, they were the dream team.
Yeah.
Remember that?
And it kind of stopped when the Niners went back there and spanked them in a game. Isn't that kind of where it all headed south for them? So I mean, overall, you know, if you got to rate these free agent signings, you know, B+, A-.
I think this is a very nice list of people, and I agree with Jerry. I mean, with circumstance happened to David Akers last year, and that being such a pivotal part of winning games in the NFL, you've got to have a good kicker, and this is a good one.
Oh, yeah.
And he was the best of the group, and he's come in with a great attitude, so that was a great signing, in my opinion.
I would have loved to have been that fly on the wall when they called Anquan and said, hey, we're trading you to the Niners. Because remember, he said, I'm going to retire if I'm not a Raven.
Yeah.
But something sparked.
Africa?
He was in Africa with Larry Fitzgerald.
With Larry Fitzgerald, and they were on this peace mission or whatever they were doing. And
his PR person is one of my wife's former gymnasts at San Jose State.
Oh, really?
And she actually told me, give me a little heads up, like, watch out for this. You might have my guy in your camp.
Yeah.
But Flacco backed him. Remember, Flacco went to him and said, you know, do what you need to do.
Well, you know, now let's couple him with the 49er receiving crew, and we've got some another slide, I think, of people that were injured. And if we slide this one up, Rick, Mario Manningham, to me, is a big one there, along with Kyle Williams. If those two guys are themselves, those two, then I don't think we have to go into the draft and look wide receiver. I really don't.
I still think you have to.
You think so?
Yes.
Well, for the speed guy.
Well, not only the speed guy, but, you know, Manningham's not a spring chicken. Anquan Bolden's, you know, he's pretty up there in age as well.
Right.
So you want to prepare for the future, and you know, and the wide receivers that you got coming out now, you've got about 4 or 5 that I really like, especially the 2 from Tennessee.
Wouldn't it be nice to load up on a roster of wide receivers?
Exactly.
Especially with this guy that we got throwing the ball, Colin Kaepernick. I think is going to be. He's going to be one of the top 3 or 4 quarterbacks in the league. I don't think without any question.
Very pivotal list. If I guess Manningham's injury is very, very serious. And it's not his first one, so there's an issue there with the draft. But again, what about their first-round draft pick last year was a wide receiver, if I recall.
Jenkins.
And nobody has mentioned him again. So I don't know what this signals, and bringing in Bolden and looking to draft. Hopefully he can show up and make a contribution. But if they can get a lot of these guys healthy, they're going to put a lot of pass catchers on the field.
They are.
A lot at one time. And that could be very significant. Obviously, looking for a healthy Kendall Hunter to come back.
Right.
Yep.
And with a pretty thin linebacking core, I think the guys all 3 of the guys on the bottom need to show up a little. We don't know too much about Johnson or Fleming, who were both rookies last year and injured. So this is a very important list.
It's amazing that we did so well on the defensive line last year without Paris.
Yeah, absolutely.
And all right, I'll tell you what, Paris is hungry.
I'm sure he
got
is.
a chip on his shoulder. So.
Actually, I am too. So let's go through this pretty quickly.
Isn't that like 24/7 with you?
All right, when the 3 of us come back, we'll talk about pre-draft questions right here on Hooked on the Niners. Don't give him knuckles. We'll see you right back here.
Hooked on the Niners is brought to you in part by Old County Custom Framing, located at 1339 Old County Road in Belmont. You can reach Old County Custom Framing at 650-596-2767. That's 650-596-2767. Go Niners! California Catering Company of San Mateo, proudly serving our community at 233 West 20th Avenue in San Mateo. California Catering can be reached at 650-345-4811, extension 1. The San Mateo Credit Union, serving San Mateo County for over 60 years. They can be reached at 650-363-1725. That's 650-363-1725. Or on the web at www.smcu.org. San Mateo Credit Union.
Hey guys, Will Durst here for my good friends, acquaintances at Penn TV, the place for what's happening in San Mateo County, and lots more too. Visit Penn TV on your local cable TV provider, or live on the web at www.penntv.tv. Hey, they do good stuff.
Welcome back to Hooked on the Niners. We're just getting some papers in order here. Nobody has said the secret word, and even if you do, you're not getting the money. What is it?
Shredder.
Shredder. Yeah, absolutely.
Paper.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Here they go. Here they go. All right, segment 3, pre-draft questions. I'm just going to say, take it away, Mark, because you've got some wonderful questions
I think
here.
We've already talked a lot about some of the issues. You know, defensive line depth, I think, is an issue that we've talked about, and. You know, is there a guy on that list, Dahl or Naismith, who can start at free safety? I think it's an issue for me because there's been a lot of talk about that being a position. I think the other area they need to look at, we talked about wide receiver, is if you look at their active roster now, they have 2 offensive tackles on their offensive roster, and it's their 2 starters.
Right.
So, you know, Alex Boone could slide over, but he's certainly appears to become a very accomplished guard player. So I think offensive tackles a place they need to look as well. So,
they do have Wiggins, by the way. But,
he's the 3rd guy, but he's not really reported on their active roster. So
but
it appears defensive line, offensive line, and I think the tight end position is also one that's in question, depending on what sort of offenses they play with all these wideout folks they have. So a lot of draft opportunities, I believe.
You know, you brought up a good point, though, you know, about Alex Boone. You know, you can put him at tackle, but I'm looking at him playing guard and possibly maybe even going center.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, who knows how long Goodwin has left. So,
well, I think that's a point you got to look at in the draft, too, is if you're going to go there on the offensive line. I personally think that the defensive line really took some hits with Sopoaga and Ricky Jean-Francois. Dorsey was a great pickup. I know they love Williams, but we got to start thinking of the next Justin Smith here pretty quick. And I think there's a couple of guys that we'll talk about in the next segment.
Ray McDonald's going into year 8 or 9, so you know, I think they were the oldest D-line in the league, which shows you how young D-lines are, but it's an opportunity.
Now, earlier you said you thought the 49er corners were okay. I think Terrell Brown is really pretty good. And I think Rodgers may be getting a little long in tooth. And, you know, Culliver, oh, boy. Oh, boy, what a week he had down there for the Super Bowl. So, but you said you kind of thought Awesome was here to play safety?
Well, not necessarily.
Or would he be a slot corner?
It's been he played safety at Cal, and he's a great athlete. And, you know, I remember a guy with a number 42 who was a pretty good cornerback and turned into a pretty good safety.
Who's that?
So we'll tell you later.
All right.
But you know, I think that'll be discussed. I mean, this guy's a very, very good athlete, and maybe one could argue, could turn out to be a better free safety than a corner at this point in his career. So I think they'll take a look at him there.
What other questions do you have? Is that it? Or is just
that's about all the ones I can come up with.
That's okay.
Those are pretty good.
So on offense, I think one of the things that you got to look at is, again, going back to what we said twice already in the show, Jim Harbaugh, likes multiple tight ends in his offense. And I don't think he wants, and I mean no slam against this, but Tukuafo to be one of those or anybody like that. I think you have Selleck and you have Vernon Davis. You know, those are 2 quality players. Be interesting to see if Zach Eifert Zach Ertz is there, or Tyler Eifert, one of those 2 guys, if they jump on them. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But as far as the needs in the draft, I mean, I think another thing you got to look at is running back. I know we have a lot.
No, I agree. I totally agree with you.
But with LaMichael James and Kendall Hunter, those 2 guys, in my humble opinion, aren't the 20 to 22 carry guys, which you don't see much in the league anymore. Right. But Frank, as wonderful as he's been, I don't think he's washed up.
No, far from it. But we need to spell him.
Absolutely right.
You know, it's interesting. I would agree. Maybe we were talking a little more about priorities and how you pick, because that is a position where a lot of guys have shown up as lower picks and been enormously successful. But I think, again, with 13 picks, they're in such a, which we'll talk about a little bit later, they're in such a magnificent position to do a lot of things, to fill needs and wheel and deal around.
Yeah, and you're right. You know, there's one kid that I would definitely look at, the kid that's coming out of Arkansas.
Niall Davis. He's on my list.
He's hurt, you know, but still, he's had some pretty good workouts. I mean, you get him in the 6th, maybe even the 5th round. You know, and
Don't get me started.
And he's
now
what?
I am getting hungry.
He's 6'1", about 205, 210. He's a big back that you can use and that can carry 20 to 25 times. That's the kid that I would look at. So
the strategy here, 13 picks, and I'm going to throw this right at you. Here's the change up in the dirt, pal. When you were with the Niners, 84, you had one of the greatest teams ever. 88, I thought was the best team ever. 89. We all knew coming into camp, or I think you did, not many. They're not going to draft 7 guys, and all 7 guys are going to make this team.
Right.
There's not that many.
3, 4, maybe 5. You know, something along those lines. 13 picks. So that tells me they're either going to take this to move up, or continually drop back and pad next year, 2014. Personally, myself, if it was me in charge, I would trade our first pick for a high pick next year, because we have a pick 3 picks later. Yeah. And I don't think it's going to alter what we do. If we go safety, defensive back, safety, defensive lineman, or defensive lineman safety, which I think that's the order. You know, I don't think it's going to matter.
I think you're right. I think almost all of those levels, you're right. Where's Bill Walsh when you need him?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh boy!
But I think
not that these guys can't handle it. I love these guys.
They definitely can.
I love these guys,
and it should be fun for them, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see where 13 picks can make this roster.
No.
There's too much talent on this roster, but half those picks could, and
Absolutely.
yes, you could package them for next year or in the future, and/or for moving up. Yes.
Right. Absolutely.
You know, I'd like the safety pick, the number 1 pick. I love the kid out of Florida International.
Yeah.
Oh, Cyprian.
I love him.
Yeah, we'll get to that in the next segment too.
I mean, so let's at least take a look at all these picks and see what you can do with them, because I'll tell you, there's probably some guys on the roster right now whose jobs could be in jeopardy.
Yeah.
Well, that would be good news for 49er fans.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got a 1, 2 2s, 2 3s, 2 4s, 2 5s, a 6, and 3 7s. That's a lot of picks. And whether they jockey up or down, they are in position. And to me, one of the strengths that they have going for them, this isn't a quarterback draft, in my humble opinion.
No.
I don't think it is. I don't think there's a guy, a quarterback that should be picked in the first round. I really don't.
There will be.
There will be, because on draft day, quarterbacks, their value goes up.
Right.
Yes,
So if we're down there at 31, and let's say Cleveland has made their pick, and none of the other quarterbacks are coming off, I could see them saying, call the Niners. They don't need a quarterback. We got to jump in, because at the start of the second round, all the teams that need quarterbacks are going to start to fall. Maybe they'll give you their number 1 next year for the number 1 now. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Did you ever think that the NFL draft would be in prime time?
Yes.
Well,
yes.
Did you?
It's such big business, and it's such.
You got the first round, then 2 and 3, and then the weekend stuff.
Right.
Just
millions of people watching one guy hand a card to another guy to read a name.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Back in the day, it used to start at like at 5 a.m. out here.
And I'll tell you what, I don't miss a single pick. All right, when we come back, we're going to tell you who they should pick right here on Hooked on the Niners. And I haven't forgot that shout about being hungry. Goalpost.
Hooked on the Niners is brought to you by
Bay 101 Casino, located at 1801 Bering Drive in San Jose. They can be reached at 408-451-8888 or on the web at bay101.com. Since 1994, Bay 101 Casino.
Badges Cafe. Badges Cafe is located in the heart of Mountain View at 2423 Old Middlefield Way. You can reach Badges Cafe at 650-967-7477 or on the web at www.badges.com. Go Niners! College Plaza Shell. College Plaza Shell, located at 1400 West Hillsdale Boulevard in San Mateo, providing automotive service since 1987. You can reach College Plaza Shell at 650-573-7959. That's 650-573-7959.
Hey, did you know that Peninsula TV is available to over 230,000 households in San Mateo County?
And then there's the internet. We stream all of our programming on our website, pentv.tv.
Our website has everything you need to know about what's going on in San Mateo County.
From kids to healthcare, from sports to business, from politics to lifestyles.
Peninsula Television, your independent source for news, information, and entertainment since 1999.
All right, welcome back to Hooked on the Niners. Now for the juicy part. Who should they take? All right? And you've got a draft list. You have a draft list in front of you here.
Your draft list is very impressive.
Well, I don't know. The draft list that we're looking at, if you're interested in it, in about a day or two, it will be posted on hookedontheniners.com if you care to take a look at it. And they're just the way I like the players, not anybody else.
These are your order?
These are my order.
I agree with outside linebacker completely.
Okay. All right. Well, we don't want to keep the folks in suspense out there.
Let's just talk about ourselves.
Yeah,
exactly. All right. On offense, you mentioned wide receiver. Yeah. I don't think Tavon Austin or Cordarrelle Patterson are going to be there.
They probably won't.
And I can't see them picking one in the first round.
No, and they shouldn't. You know, that's why you got the third and the fourth.
Well, and there's some guys that are available.
I mean, I like Keenan Allen. I like Hopkins.
Mm-hmm. Hopkins is a good one. Justin Hunter out of Tennessee, the guy on the other side of Cordarrelle Patterson.
He's so
6'4", 205, runs a 4.44. I think that
hard position to draft up. It really is.
It is.
I mean, the Calvin Johnsons and the big guys don't come around too much.
Right.
There's a lot of guys who've got the stats, and the Larry Fitzgeralds and that crew is tough. The other thing about this draft to me is it doesn't seem to be a superstar draft. There's not players where they go, this guy is a Calvin Johnson or a Peterson or just a superstar player. So I think that's probably going to complicate how things go, because you know for a fact that something's going to happen. When the picks come down, there's going to be 2 or 3 picks that people kind of go, what?
What?
Yeah. Oh,
and
absolutely.
then it kind of changes your whole board, as you know, because you've gone through this. And then a guy's available who you didn't think was going to be, or your list gets changed. So
start getting phone calls.
It's going to be a very, very interesting draft. But I think it's. Go ahead.
There was a what last year in the
I think there sure was.
Yeah,
the 49ers. Kind of
sure was. Yeah.
And there might have been a what the year before. I think 2 years in a row.
Oh, Alden Smith.
Alden Smith. I
mean,
people like you did.
Well,
because
I knew him. Yeah, I was salivating. I was so hungry that day at home.
What time of day was that?
I'm going to leave this one alone. So, yeah.
Couple of guys that I think are interesting, wide receiver, then we'll move on. Ryan Swope from Texas A&M is just shooting up the leaderboard. Here's a 6', 206-pound guy that runs a 4.340. Yeah. He caught all the passes from Johnny Football.
Yeah, can we get his quarterback to go with him if we draft him?
Well, we don't need him. But one guy that I'm always leery of is wide receivers out of USC. Just don't do it for me. So Robert Woods, I'm not that impressed. And I'm hoping they don't take him.
Lynn Swann wouldn't like to hear that.
Well, Lynn Swann I liked very much. He's all right. Okay, another position, we talked about the offensive line. Now, specifically tackle.
Lineman.
I think there's 5 here. Luke Jokel out of Texas A&M.
First overall.
Lane Johnson out of Oklahoma. DJ Fluker out of Alabama. And I'm probably forgetting Menelik Watson, Florida State. If we get down to the 6th best offensive tackle in the draft in round 1, is that something you want to do, or do you want to move up and maybe get somebody who I think is the best center in the draft, Brian Schwenke out of Cal?
Yeah. You know what? I think you've got enough guys on the team right now that can play center.
Okay.
So I would look at an offensive tackle. I'll give you a name that's not even on this list that you're looking about the 4th, 5th round. A kid named Kirby Fabian. Out of University of Calgary.
He's not a singer, is he?
Wow.
Kirby Fabian.
How do you know about Kirby?
Oh, I know a lot, Jim.
Out of where?
University of Calgary.
University of Calgary.
My goodness.
Calgary.
Yes.
I'm sorry, my list is not international.
Yeah,
this is just a
we're not talking hockey either.
You thought he was a goalkeeper.
It's on the backside, yeah.
But I had the opportunity to go up to the University of Calgary last year and do a seminar for their football team on strength and conditioning. And I took this kid through some drills. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
His feet are unbelievable. So he's been in Carolina, Atlanta, Kansas City. Mm-hmm. Everybody's bringing him through to visit. So he can play guard tackle.
Yeah.
But I watch this kid.
Let's take a look at tight end as we got about 5 minutes left.
Wait 1 second before tight end.
Yeah.
Niners will take an offensive lineman in the first round. I really feel that.
First, second.
In the first round?
First pick of the second round or third?
That'll be surprising to me.
It'll be surprising to everybody. And I don't know anything. People know that.
Listen, I've always said, if you want to stay strong in the NFL, your first 3 picks in the draft, regardless of where they are, you should have an offensive lineman every year. Every year.
I'd agree with that.
Okay.
And there's, if the draft does have some strength, it seems this year there are a lot of good offensive linemen.
Right. Interior
some good guards.
and on
the kid from Alabama, the guard from Alabama, could go.
Oh, absolutely.
In the top 10, which has never happened.
Yeah, I mean, Warmack, Warford, and Cooper are almost interchangeable parts.
Why don't you just go and just draft somebody from Wisconsin, an offensive lineman from Wisconsin?
No,
you're done.
Or Mark and I talked about this. The 49ers could send me to New York and just say, when our turn comes, take somebody from Alabama. Which guy? I don't care. Just take one. Just pick a guy from Alabama. Or LSU.
Or Ohio State.
Yeah.
Ohio State's had some. OSU's had some issues recently.
Yeah. Okay. I think you just say he overshot that one. Okay. Tight end. Zach Ertz, Tyler Eifert, probably the top two. No question about that. Right. Travis Kelce from Cincinnati is moving up the leaderboard a lot. There's a name to look for.
He's pretty good.
Okay. We got
over Jake on purpose.
No. We got to move along. We only got 2 minutes here. We got to do the defensive lineman. Defensive lineman. The kid from Utah, Lutalele, the heart condition.
Very high pick.
High pick. Sharif Floyd out of Florida. John Jenkins. John Jenkins is the guy that amazes me. 6'4", 346 out of Georgia. Jeez. Played in the SEC at that size and did extremely well. That would be a pick I could see. When I say our first three, I'm talking about our pick in the first round, our high pick in the second round, and our low pick in the second round.
Well, you know, the most interesting person on the defensive line is going to be Ezekiel, coming out of BYU.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
more the kid from SMU is interesting too.
Oh,
the big
that's
giant
Marcus
Hunt.
Yeah. Remember this, Marcus Hunt. If I'm not mistaken, 6'8", 275, and in his career at SMU, blocked 17 kicks. Not 5 or 6 or 7, 17 kicks. All kinds, punts, field goals. Okay, safety. Cyprian out of Florida.
Love him.
Elam out of Florida.
Yep.
And Eric Reed out of LSU. Those guys will all be available when it's our time.
What about the kid from Texas? Everybody likes him too.
Kenny Vaccaro, I don't think plays the pass. He's great with the run. He is absolutely great with the run. And let me just give you a couple here. We may run over a little bit in this segment.
He's on a roll now, man.
Yeah, exactly.
He's on a roll now.
He's on a roll now.
How about my guy Kiki?
How about from LSU? Yeah. Okay, 30 seconds. Risks to be taken.
There you go.
The honey badger, and that's the secret word.
The athlete,
no.
I thought it was going to get a double.
Marcus Lattimore out of South Carolina.
With that injury.
With that injury. William Goldston of Michigan State. Dontre Moore, great athlete, but at the combine, showed up late, fell asleep in an interview meeting, and only did 12 reps with the 250 pounds. There were kickers that were doing
225.
What did I say?
250.
Is it 225?
It's 225.
Okay.
But I don't think
that's what makes me so hungry. I'm lifting 250 instead of 220.
But I don't think the honey badger is a risk.
Formerly known as.
I don't either.
He's
Formerly
not a
known
risk.
as. Yeah.
Whoever gets him.
I would love to get him because that'd
be a great 3rd or 4th round pick right there.
Okay, I would tell you what we're going to do next, but I got so darn many papers, sir, I've lost where we are.
So excited. With
coming up in segment 5, we're going to talk about the season next year, the schedule, the division, who's our competition in our conference for us to get back to the Super Bowl. And yes,
Seattle.
What's that?
Oh, Seattle. That's the secret word, Seattle.
No, it's not.
Stadium.
We'll see it here. Right?
Richard Sherman.
On the Niners. What have I started?
Richard Sherman.
Brought to you in part by Parati & Karad, CPAs, providing income tax and accounting services to individuals and the business community since 1986. Located at 1100 Larkspur Landing Circle in Larkspur. They can be reached at 415-461-8500 or on the web at www.pccpas.com. Let's go Niners! Woodmont Real Estate Services, a friend to the community since 1963. Woodmont Real Estate Services is located at 1050 Ralston Avenue in Belmont, California, and can be reached at 650-592-3960 or at www.wres.com. Vivace Ristorante. Vivace Ristorante is located in the heart of Belmont at 1910 Ralston Avenue. They can be reached at 650-637-0611. That's 650-637-0611 or on the web at www.vivacerestaurant.com. Gando Design. For 25 years, Gando Design is located in Redwood City. Their website is gandodesign.com/specials. Gando Design, a proud sponsor of Hooked on the Niners. Check out the Peninsula TV studio with over 2,000 square feet of space in the auditorium of the Samtrans building in San Carlos. One studio, many looks. From a simple talk show to an onstage production, from musical performances to business webcasts, PowerPoint presentations, Skype interviews. With our state-of-the-art control room, we're one mouse click away from going live from our studio to the internet or to Peninsula TV. For more information, call 650-637-1936 or use the Contact Us form at pentv.tv.
All right, welcome back to Hooked on the Niners. We could obviously go over this stuff and go over this. We didn't even talk about late-round steals.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. I mean,
read Hooked on the Niners, huh?
Huh?
Yeah. The website, you can look
Hooked
at this
on the Niners. It'll be there. Yeah, absolutely. It'll be there for you at hookedontheniners.com. Connor Vernon from Duke is another guy I like, 6'1", 200-pound receiver.
I like Quisenberry, just the name.
Dan Quisenberry, right, exactly, out of San Jose State.
Yeah.
Is another good player. We could, as I said, we could just go on and on.
Does he throw underarm?
Yeah, exactly.
Submarine.
Nice knowledge.
Thank you very much.
Nice. Probably throws it like when you threw the ball and hit your nephew in the head. We'll tell you that story. Would you like to hear that story? You think he's a nice guy? No, I'm just teasing. All right, segment 5, the season coming up. If we can get that first slide in there, the schedule. Now, this is another thing. The NFL now has a show on the release of the schedule.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's just incredible. If you look at this, Falcons, Saints, folks at home can read. You don't need me to read this. But look, one of the things we didn't talk about was the emergence of the Seattle Seahawks last year. And what they've done this year in free agency
it's been
is just
spectacular.
Incredible. I think Carson Palmer going to Arizona helps them a lot.
Yeah, since you could have been the quarterback there before he arrived.
Right. But they've got to get some beef in front of that guy or it's going to be short-lived there.
Yep.
But at Washington, just really jumps. That's a tough. J-Dub, wasn't that the toughest place to play when you were with the Niners?
Well, New Orleans. New Orleans with all that noise was awfully tough. Washington was always tough, and we got it taken away from us a couple times in Washington. But there's some awfully tough places there.
Oh gosh, look at that! Look at the home game. Houston Texans coming in, Atlanta coming in.
Right. But they are fortunate that 4 very tough games are at home.
Right.
Atlanta, Indy, Houston, and GB. So
and Seattle.
And well, you know about that. I've been out of conference games, but you know, it's better that they weren't switched the other way. Although going to New Orleans again is no picnic.
Well, Tampa Bay may have Terrell Revis at some point.
That's going to be a tough place to play.
It's a team who's on the rise, too.
It's on the rise, you know, and it all starts with the coaching, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
You get the right guy in there or general manager that can, you know, bring somebody in. But again, as I look at this list, I mean, you know me, I'm usually 13-3, 12-4. This is gonna take a lot of thought.
Well, I think a lot of the 13s and 3s before were, you know, you were kind of racking up in conference wins, right?
Right.
Well, that party is over. Especially with Seattle, as you said, you know, as we'll see in a short while.
Well, let's talk about the division.
It's.
I mean, they're the main competition. How far behind do you think Arizona is?
Well,
St. Louis
Louis might jump ahead of Arizona this year.
Yeah.
St. Louis is on the rise.
Even though they lost, you know, Steven Jackson and Craig Dahl, but they, you know, they've replaced
that young
them.
running back's very good.
Oh yeah.
Richardson and they drafted pretty well last year. 2 first-round picks.
2 first-round picks this year, and what if
they brought in Jake Long?
Yes,
you know,
that's not.
So that's pretty good. So Gerard Cook.
I'll bring up 2 subjects here, kind of jumping back to our last segment about who would the 49ers take. What if St. Louis gets Eddie Lacy?
Oh, geez.
Or what if Eddie Lacy's there when we pick at 31, and there's a chance he could be?
Possible.
Would you take him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's completely in the conversation. He could be a spectacular player.
I don't think he will be
I still go safety.
Yeah.
You still go safety?
I still go safety.
Offense sells tickets, man. Come on. No, but you're right with the 2 picks that the Rams have. And if they got Eddie Lacy with one of them, and you know, a wide receiver, if they get Cordarrelle Patterson, you know.
Well, they got 2 picks next year, so they could also be in a position where they're sitting in the draft. They could be doing some wheeling and dealing too. But I love Jeff Fisher as a coach. I think he's bringing them in the right direction.
That's fabulous.
And I agree with Jerry. And the Cardinals have some good players. They've got especially some good defensive players.
Yeah.
Their offensive line's kind of in.
But they
it's horrible.
Right.
It's not kind of in.
Right.
It's horrible.
So they released a lot of their defensive backfield, though. Rhodes is gone, Wilson's gone. So they lost William Gay, I believe, as well. So that's going to kind of hurt them.
Yeah.
But like you said before, bringing in Carson Palmer. To help Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
Watch out.
Larry's going to help him, whichever way
it doesn't matter.
that goes.
Larry's a man child.
Was Jeff Fisher with the Niners when you were there?
Yeah, DB coach.
He always seems like a nice guy to me.
Good guy.
level-headed guy.
Excellent.
Yeah.
For an SC guy, I mean.
Yeah. I was sorry to see him get that job in St. Louis. No offense to him, but selfishly. And the same thing with Bruce Arians down in Arizona.
Yeah.
I think what that guy did in Indianapolis last year. Can you imagine that? I'm going to get a rookie quarterback that has to replace the legend, and oh, by the way, the head coach is going to get sick, and I got to come in and make. And what did they win? 11 games?
Yeah. Some 12 maybe.
11-5.
11-5 is what I think they were.
Went to the playoffs. Yeah.
And with virtually not much to help Andrew Luck on offense there.
The running game was bad. They had a couple inconsistent wide receivers. I mean, they still have Reggie Wayne, of course, but
It'll be interesting to see. Hopefully the 49ers, when the schedule does come out, the first game against Seattle will be up there. I do not like going up there at the end of the year.
No.
That is just such a hard place to play.
42-15 hard this year.
Yeah.
This is a team that's just come out of nowhere to be a powerhouse. I mean, they're in the discussion immediately now for a Super Bowl. Great draft. Last year, incredible free agent signings, right? They bring in Bennett and Cliff Averill and Percy Harvin and Chris Clemens coming back from an injury.
They got Winfield. They just signed Winfield. They got Blackman. So
this is a team that's.
I mean, you're already taking a good defense and you're adding on to that. I mean, that makes you even better. What I want to see. How good is Percy Harvin going to be?
Yeah,
that's what I want to see.
Yeah,
But what a rivalry has happened between these that just kind of emerged last year, and now it's it's the Hatfields and the McCoys.
Right.
This is a great rivalry.
And by the way, as much pub as Richard Sherman gets about being a loudmouth, he's actually a really nice guy.
Is he really?
Yes, he's a very nice guy.
Okay,
you got to prove that to me later.
But the thing is, though, he does it to get under people's skin.
Yeah.
He's under mine, and I've never even met the guy.
Yeah. I'm just a fan.
So we're going to have dinner sometime.
Exactly.
No, I don't want to go to dinner with Richard Sherman.
One good thing is they don't have any replacement officials that they're going to play before.
Right, exactly.
So that's one more loss on
Just
this
quickly
side.
before we get out of this segment, competition in the conference. Let's say we get through Seattle. We don't have to play them. Is it the same? Is it the usual suspects, or is there anybody there that you see that's going to jump up this year?
I think there's a few people on our schedule that are going to be up there.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, there are some guys up there. I don't know. I still think the Green Bay Packers they're part of the class of the league.
Right.
And I just think that this every other year thing with the New York Giants, it's their year to come back again. I mean, they're a good team. There was a thing on the NFL Network about Tom Coughlin, the football life. What a nice guy he seems like. And I mean, he did a turnaround. You're snickering over there. You don't like him, huh?
I'm not a Coughlin fan. No.
Really? Would you go to dinner with him or Richard Sherman?
I don't know. Anybody from the Giants is like they have a little Richard Sherman in them, in my opinion.
I'd go with Coughlin because he's a vet.
Yeah, because he's a vet. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, and he's probably got more money than Richard Sherman, and he might pick up the check. So you got to.
No. I'd be 10 minutes early, and he'd tell me you're 5 minutes late.
You're 5 minutes
You're
late.
picking up the check.
Yeah. All right. Kirby Fabian from the University of Calgary. That's a stunner. Okay. All right. Come back. One more segment. We're going to turn it over to Jerry. We're going to tell you everything you need to know about the new stadium, maybe, and the museum right here on Hooked on the Niners.
Montana.
Hooked on the Niners is brought to you in part by Old County Custom Framing, located at 1339 Old County Road in Belmont. You can reach Old County Custom Framing at 650-596-2767. That's 650-596-2767. Go Niners! California Catering Company of San Mateo, proudly serving our community at 233 West 20th Avenue in San Mateo. California Catering can be reached at 650-345-4811, extension 1. The San Mateo Credit Union, serving San Mateo County for over 60 years. They can be reached at 650-5 650-363-1725. That's 650-363-1725. Or on the web at www.smcu.org. San Mateo Credit Union.
Hey everyone, I'm Mitch Juricich of Hooked on the Niners for my pals here at Penn TV. You know, Penn TV's been around for a while now, providing entertainment and news for our community, and these people are wonderful to work with. They're courteous, they're professional, and they've got all the state-of-the-art equipment. So if you have an idea for a television show that you'd like to do, or perhaps your company or a nonprofit, this is a great avenue for you. Take it from me. Contact the folks, the number's on the screen, and so is the website. Maybe we'll be seeing you on television.
All right, welcome back to Hooked on the Niners. As we wrap this up, boo-boo by me. I forgot a slide to call for a slide. Rick, if we can get that up there. Talk about next year. The folks in Las Vegas have weighed in on the odds for the Super Bowl next year. And look at there. Wow. They're saying it's going to be the Denver Broncos and the 49ers in the Super Bowl, apparently. Seattle not too far behind. The Falcons have made some improvements. I think the Packers should be lower than that. Houston and New Orleans, Seahawks, but the Patriots is kind of interesting.
I'm not getting that. I mean, they're in love with. They are in love with them.
It's the system. It's Belichick's way that they be able to bring in players and interchange them, and they still win.
Yeah,
you know.
But letting go of Wes Welker.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know about that one, guys.
The inside story is his agent.
Oh,
messed it up.
Yeah. Okay.
And now he's kind of hanging out with that team on top. So
yeah,
I think he's going to help.
Right. Exactly.
Help them a bit, and I think that's a pretty darn good pick. Really, they're a very good football team. And, but there's some very good teams on this list. As I say, I don't get the Patriots so much, but I think if Atlanta can make some tweaks on that defense, that offense, especially with Tony G coming back, is
the key with them too is Steven Jackson.
Yeah.
Now you got a back who runs bad.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, Julio Jones ought to be against the law.
Yes.
I mean, tall, good-looking. He's the anti-Mitch.
He's a Jones.
Anyhow.
He's a Jones. About 5 of those teams are NFC, huh?
Yeah, right, exactly. All right. Let's talk about the stadium. You're very involved working with the Niners as the director of procurement.
He's told you this 17 times with his job.
Player personnel? No.
No.
Oh, I know what the secret word is.
What?
Team archivist.
Yeah, team archivist. Okay, we got about 2 minutes left.
I'm a curator, but
how's the stadium going?
If you haven't been by there, you need to go by there. Anybody that's watching this show, they need to turn it off.
Yeah.
No. Get in their car and drive by there because it is amazing. It looks like we could play a game in there this weekend.
Wow. Is that right?
It's amazing.
Really?
So since you've got that key position there, you can give us a tour.
Just let me know when.
You know what we should do is we should probably take a camera and go down there, and if the 49ers would okay that, we'll do a half-hour show.
Key, if they'd okay it.
No, and I can understand that they don't want people deluging them.
Sure. I just want a hard hat.
That is some big thinking right there.
That is some big thinking there. That's exactly right.
We'll do that.
All right, so one quick thing. We got about 30 seconds left. Is it going to be as noisy as Seattle?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And if somebody wants to donate something to the museum, who would they contact?
Jerry Walker, Jerry.Walker at 49ers49ERS.com.
Okay, guys on the crew, you want to take a shot at the secret word?
Hungry.
No, it's not hungry. No. Miami. Good guess, Humphrey. Miami. No.
It's Amy.
The secret word was thimble.
Thimble.
Yes,
okay.
Well, if you're going to sew a football, put the laces, you better wear a thimble.
Is there any chance we could not do this next year?
I think we should do it, but let's
some
fun words.
Let's take turns.
We'll see you next time right here on Hooked on the Niners. Were you talking to me?
Let's take turns.
God.
It's your assignment next game for the secret word.
Oh, man. You want that other leg messed up?